Hi, everybody. So today we're going to be trying to build out an AI clone of ourselves on WhatsApp, right? So it's able to pretty much talk and adopt a lot of the, intricacies we have when communicating with people. So it pretty much like an AI powered chatbot of yourself. So this is what we're going to try to do today. Now, if you've watched Silicon Valley, there's a scene where Guilfoyle develops an AI chatbot of himself that starts talking to one of his coworkers called Dinesh, right? And Dinesh doesn't follow that it's an actual AI, and he ends up talking to it for a bit, and then it gets really annoyed at some point when he finds out that it's not real. And it was a really funny scene. Now, before we start, right, we need something. You need to go to your WhatsApp, and then you need to export any particular chat that you'd like. So pick anything, right? Ideally speaking, pick something with at least you've had about 50 conversations with any person that you've had 50 conversations with, and pick that. And then once you've exported it, WhatsApp gives you a .txt file. So when you get a .txt, it looks like this. This is what the .txt looks like, right? In a raw format. But this is not going to be good enough for us to fine tune a model, right? To create a version of ourselves. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to first parse it using a Python script that I've made. I'll show it to you in a bit. And then once it's parsed, it comes into this format. You see, this is much cleaner, right? You have the role, which is set to a user, right? User is the person giving you instructions, right? And myself, I'm going to be the assistant. So like the person that is me within the chat is the assistant because I'm getting those instructions. So for example, my sister says, dude, do you want to eat lunch? And then me being the assistant, because I'm the chatbot here, not because, I'm like assisting. You know what? Screw it. I say, no, man, I'm full. Okay. So that's kind of the response you expect from like an assistant. I should really stop referring to myself as assistant, but like whatever. So colab, right? So after you've made it into this format, you're going to use colab to further change the format for fine tuning. So Llama 3.1 expects this sort of format. They have a function that just does it. So you just need to input something like this, and it will output this exact format for you. And then, there's some tokenizing that happens that creates this sequence of tokens. Not to worry about it. Then we pass these tokens into a Llama 3.2 billion, 3 billion parameter model to do some fine tuning. Now, at the end, this is what we expect. We expect an input of this, right? Input saying, hey, do you want to eat? And then output is like something like, nah, some casual sort of reply to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. You're just going to go git clone. I'll pass the repository link. I think it's still this. I'm not sure if it is. But you're just going to git clone, right? And then, 1 second. Then you're going to do a UV. I've used UV. So you just UV run, and you can sort of pass this command here, pass conv, and pass a parameter that says input file. Just give the input to your WhatsApp chat, right? And obviously, do go through the code itself. There's nothing here that's dangerous or anything like that. But I still would not suggest you use too many, what do you call this, like, confidential chats and stuff. Keep them. Even for me, I had to remove a lot of this. It's still data that you're sending, right? You are training this on a cloud service, so you're not training this locally. So just keep that in mind when you're working on this. So when I run this, right, it takes that data and it parses it and takes out the names from it and says, hey, which one is your name? You pick yourself. And yeah, so that's it. So it's parsed, and now we can go take a look at it. So this is what the output data would look like, right? After the first stage of being parsed. So this is a JSON else file, and you'll have something like this, right? It just groups the conversation. It takes dude, do you want to eat? And then it says lunch, and then no, man, I'm full, right? So that's kind of where it goes. Now, that's pretty much the extent of the script. There's nothing more to it. You take that JSON-L, right? And then you come to Google Colab. I'll paste the link of this. This I found on Unsloth's official documentation. So amazing notebook. It helps you to fine tune something really fast. The only issue is it uses, predefined data sets. So we're making a custom data set. That's why I needed those Python scripts and, parsing stuff. Now you can run this, and we're picking this specific model, which is the 3.2B, right? Instruct, and what else is there? Tokenizer. So this is where I import the JSON-L file. You can just upload it here, right? It's here now. And yeah, just run this. It'll do some transformations and then training and then blah, blah, blah. And then finally inference is here. So inference, I say, do you want to eat? Just run this. It says, you see that? It says nah. So that sounds exactly like something I would say. Uh, Maybe now, but like 3 years ago, I would have said yes, like every single time. But like, you could probably see that in me too. Okay, and then finally, we're gonna save and load the fine-tuned models. I won't do this part right now. I mean, you can go ahead and run this. You can save it in any format, GGOF, CPP. But after this, we need to host this on some sort of service where we can inference it with through an API endpoint or something like that. And then we also need to connect to WhatsApp through a webhook so that we can actually make this useful by being able to, send, like, have our model actually communicate with people. Like, when they send a text, it's able to reply to them. So doing that is a bit of a challenge. So that's something I'm going to do next. But yeah, hopefully this has been useful. If you have any other use cases for fine tuning a model, this is great. I love this notebook. I'll put a link to this in the description. Check it out. I've made very minimal changes to it if you have a custom data set. So yeah, that's it. All the best. See you till next time.